And welcome everybody, episode 100 here in the Buffalo Bulls Dynasty on College Football 25. Today we have the Season 8 Offseason stream live, and I'm excited to see what kind of a team we got going into the new year. I think that we are going to have a couple interesting parts of this stream looking at potential early declares and what we can actually bring into Season 8 in terms of some of our stars, if they stick around or not. But welcome everybody to the stream. Great to be here Sunday afternoon. And we are going to, primarily today, I think get a big look at some of the incoming recruits. So I think this is our best recruiting class yet. It is ranked 13, but I'm not going for volume in terms of our draft class or our recruiting class this year, because we only have 7 outgoing seniors, maybe some early declares and some cuts after that. But we made our players count this year. We are going to see Keenan Cleveland, the running back, a 5-star player who's the number 2 player in the whole class with 97 speed. I can't wait to see what he plays like alongside DeMarco Lacombo. And then at wide receiver, Ben Van Roten along with Carl Agnew. I want to see the ratings deeper than this, considering they are both really good prospects with great speed, elite development. Van Roten, though, 3rd ranked receiver in the entire class, Agnew 36. So the edge goes to BVR for the time being. Jaron Missouri is the number 2 tackle in the nation. He came to us from Texas. And then Jeffrey Wire, an elite development defensive end. So there's some really good talent coming in. And it's just a matter of who all we have to now replace. This season we kind of took a little bit of a step back. But now I think that we're going to be ready to launch forward. So we'll get on here with the off-season here in just a couple minutes. Welcome everyone to the stream. Been a while since I've seen a stream, but I'm here. Glad to hear it, Chase. How did Ogbonna do at his new school? Their win record wasn't very good. His stats were all right. Actually, one of the things I want to see is if he ends up transferring now from the Tar Heels. Because I'm guessing their production wasn't great. I can actually see if this is a situation to monitor or not. Because Ogbonna transferred to us because our passing production was just too low. So he goes to the Tar Heels. They go 5-7 though, 2-6 in conference. So we can still go early National Signing Day and look at the passing yards per game. So he's a scrambler, but all the quarterbacks want the same thing. It is passing yards. So I can't scroll here and see where UNC ranks. Kane, you should play past College Football 26 release day. I'm not really planning on sticking with the Bulls for another full year. We've already gone through 7 years in the series, and right now I'm kind of locked into the idea of doing at least 2 more. 10 is a nice round number, but I think that at the pace I've been going lately, I can get seasons 8 and 9 done well before July and the new game coming out. And I think anything beyond that might be a little bit of a stretch, but I guess we'll see where we are after both Season 8 and Season 9, what high we can ultimately reach, if there's still something to chase or not. What is the user ID for your playbook? Hurricane 22, 2 eyes. My playbook should be there. I got asked, I know before the stream started up here, about my sliders. I made a couple changes toward the end of the year with some of the blocking balance. So CPU pass blocking is now 45. The run blocking is 40. Those did go slightly down. But what I think made coverage and everything play so much better was bumping the speed threshold up to 60. That's kind of the number one slider. I think that's the most important one in the entire game. And I liked the way those last few games played, just in terms of their balance and the back and forth nature of the passing game, that battle between the receivers and DBs. I mean, just look at our bowl game. You saw them throw for over 200 yards all over us in the first half, and then we clamped down in the second, and they throw for like 30. So it just shows you there's a dynamic nature to how the pass game can play out. And that's when you know a slider set is really locked in. Do I think I can win a natty? I do think we have that kind of team, and we have really good players coming in that should help us get closer. And then if we don't have to replace too many players this year, I think we have really high expectations. It depends if some of these juniors leave. Like Antoine Gatto is the one I really want to see come back. Hard to replace guy. Same true for Byron Gammon, who led us in interceptions. He is draft eligible at 89 overall. Could he declare? I mean, what is an 89 overall rank in the entire Dynasty? He's the 5th ranked guy. Now, that's with some boosts and everything, but these guys are all affected by boosts too. There's 87s, 88s, 86s here. Byron Gammon, if he went pro, could probably be a top 5 drafted corner in this year's class. So that's what we have to get to, the players leaving stage, and see what we are left with. So we are going to move on now. I didn't move it past bowl week so I could still play around here in early national signing. But let's get this show on the road, guys. Will I ever recruit more than one quarterback at a time? I mean, it depends what we need. Like in this case, we have a good red-shirted freshman that I want to use this year. Karifi Jeffrey, I imagine, as our QB1. And I don't need to have like 5 or 6 quarterbacks at one time. So it just depends how many years they have to develop and kind of the starting quarterback timetable. Yeah, I'll be doing some more Marlins streams. I want us to get, more of the streams when the team is a little more built up and there are more prospects to check out. Just kind of being really careful here with the time spent in the early years of the series, where we're probably not sticking with this team too long. Kane, have you thought about starting Kenyon Traylor over Karifi Jeffrey? Traylor's ratings are very similar to Ogbonna's, plus his speed is great. I'll definitely compare. It's just we know that Jeffrey is going to develop, and I imagine it'll give him enough of an edge, but we are going to check it out. Let's, someone said to check out job offers. Here's what's out there. I could be the head coach at Duke. Really tempting. Head coach at West Virginia. That's actually an interesting job. Number 14 team. Okay, if you look under my camera here, downgrade, downgrade, downgrade. They consider West Virginia to be an upgrade. I'm guessing because they were ranked higher than us at the end. And only 11 coach points right now. I'm not sure that off-season recruiting is going to be all that eventful, because I pretty much have all the high school players recruited that I need. I need to try to get a kicker. That's the main thing. I need a kicker. And then maybe a few transfers. And I do have a list of players that I think are good cut candidates. Players with low caps that aren't going to get much better, that are probably the easiest to cut on a very competitive roster like this. So I realistically think we have about 15 spots available. Pending players that leave early could increase that number. It's going well, Kevin. How you doing? And then what do you guys think is the solution for the scheduling in for next year? Because like divisions are kind of an outdated thing in these conferences. Can I lock in like a protected rivalry with like UNC and us? I think I missed the chance to do that last year. Here is the college football playoff bracket. Nebraska and Oregon are battling for the title. Nebraska, the number 2 seed here. So Miami had gotten past Alabama, Colorado, and then lost to the Cornhuskers. And Syracuse, they went out in the first round. Stanford went out in the first round to Oregon. So kind of cool there with a little Pac-12 reunion between those two teams. I wish you could make your own rivalries. I do too. You know, in our case, we have one rivalry, and I think that we've already kind of run its course. Like, I don't think we'll play Temple again in this series. We've already played them 6 times, and we've won that series 4-2, and we have the 4 wins unlock a part of the coaching tree, and we have that now. For scheduling, try to save the game before you get the schedule and see if it ever randomizes. I'm definitely doing that. The hope this year is that we can face UNC and Syracuse, but we'll see if it happens. All right, so who are the champs? Bowling Green? You know, possibly. We played them again last year, lost to them actually. If it looks like an intriguing matchup, maybe. But I try to cycle some of these non-conference games to be a little more unique. The champions, guys, you can't see the score because I'm blocking it here. It is an Oregon Ducks championship winning season. 31-17 over Nebraska. Jesus Da Silva at quarterback with 3 touchdowns and a pick. And then defensive standouts here, 2.5 sacks. Cameron Gibbs, 90 overall defensive end. ChatGPT says Matt Pierre is the most beloved Dynasty player. Brandon Warren was a fraud against Stanford, and you have a losing record against Stanford. Does ChatGPT think that Brandon Warren was a fraud? Or is that you? Matt Pierre is one of the most beloved players, I feel. I don't know if I'd say number 1, but I did do like a 160 episode series with him on the second channel in addition to his tenure in the Minnesota Dynasty. So there has been a lot of Matt Pierre content over the years. ChatGPT doesn't know ball. All right, so our season is over. We didn't change our coordinators or anything. I think I'm pretty happy with where a lot of that stuff is. You know, our DC is C Prestige, but pretty developed here in the Tactician tree. I'm okay with where things are there. Would you consider a Chuck Johnson Road to Glory next year? Definitely. I think I'll play a lot more Road to Glory on College Football 26 compared to this game, especially if it gets better. And I think Chuck Johnson, I mean, he's becoming such a legend on the second channel. We're going to have to probably look at revisiting his previous days at South Carolina. Is Aaron Rodgers going to sign to a team this year? I think so. It's not like, you know, at 41 years old, he should be thinking about, you know, 2026 instead. But, you know, like the natural thing would have just been he signs on with the Steelers, and it hasn't happened. I don't know what the holdup is. I wonder if Rodgers is like, oh, we're a 4-star. We're a 4-star now. I wonder if Rodgers has, like, you know, bad memories of the Jordan Love draft, and he wants to go to somebody, but not until the draft is over, so he can go somewhere where they don't have a rookie quarterback. They spent that first-round pick, you know, making their team better in another area, and he can just become the guy. Maybe that's the play now, because I don't see any reason why he'd get signed between now and the draft. Hopefully Jeffrey can get a skill cap boost. That deep accuracy is scary. Yeah, I did unlock the ability now to get some skill caps increased. A chance for it on development. So here's Jeffrey. The accuracy cap isn't great, but he still has a really strong arm, and the accuracy should be, you know, still solid. Like, he can probably get to a mid to high 80s short and decent medium. But yeah, part of why I purchased that was to have a chance at upgrading the accuracy. Tomlin has to be opposed to Rodgers. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. He knows what a locker room headache looks like. He does. He's also navigated many of them extremely well. But I do feel like there is a big culture divide between like the way Steelers do things and like plugging in Aaron Rodgers there, given how much of a distraction he can be and everything. I guess it's a little bit shocking to think of like their quarterback will either won't be, or how do I want to say this? Their quarterback, to me, it made most sense if they were to stick with Justin Fields or bring in Rodgers. And now maybe neither of those things happen. But where does Rodgers go if not the Steelers? I think that, a couple of you are going to think the Vikings, which I don't think the Vikings want to do that. I think that's kind of a last resort because they have a plan they're trying to stick to with J.J. McCarthy. They definitely want a veteran, but one who would be open to being a backup, making backup caliber money. Yeah, where's that ability I have here? Yeah, Derek Carr could be out for the year, and that's another interesting one because his shoulder apparently is messed up. So I know they've been the favorites to get Shedeur Sanders. And I guess now that just feels too right at this stage. Or they decide they want to suck and try to get somebody else next year. I don't know. But I know Sanders has been the favorite. Trying to find that one tree. Can I click into there? Let's see. I don't know if I can't afford any more off-season training boosts. Where is that one where the quarterback can get, I think it's an architect. Yeah. So I've already bought that. If my camera's blocking it here 1 second. This is where chance to increase a random skill cap when leveling up. Now, I don't know if that really applies to the off-season because I'm not actually using skill points. That's just like natural development. Franz, 49 months, 4 years, still in love with Buffalo. Please never end it. Thank you for becoming a member for 49 months, Franz. The Steelers not going 9-8. No way they let that happen. It can apply to off-season. Okay. Well, I guess we'll see if anything raises there. Vikes should have signed Flacco. I would have been in favor of it as a mentor. I'm still also very much in favor of Ryan Tannehill. I think I would prefer Tannehill over Flacco at this case. Leslie Frazier is being inducted in my hometown's Hall of Fame. What are your thoughts on his coaching tenure for the Vikings? I thought he was the right coach at the right time after Chili Dog, Brad Childress. I think that he kind of got screwed over by the quarterback situation the team had. But I have always wanted to see him get like another chance at a head coaching gig. Like, he was a really well-liked coach. And he's had some good time as a coordinator in years since then in Buffalo. I don't know what he's been doing the last couple years. I like Leslie Frazier, though. But, when you go 3-13 and you have the kind of season they did there and you're looking at bringing in a new quarterback, then those kind of changes are going to happen. He is an assistant head coach with the Seahawks right now. Interesting. Yeah, the Vikings defense at that time, man, they had a core that was aging out. They didn't have a lot of good young pieces. It was around the time Jared Allen left, and I think Kevin Williams was already gone. So, the one thing the Vikings have really struggled to do in recent, the last 10 years is, you have an era of players where they're playing well, And, you have a good unit, but you have to keep adding to that because you're going to lose players. You're going to see players get older and regress, and the Vikings have not been able to, plug those gaps whatsoever. It's fallen apart at the end of the Frazier era, the end of the Zimmer era, and here they are again rebuilding a brand new defense the last couple of years. All right, players leaving. How many players are we replacing? Are there any juniors declaring to the NFL draft? The biggest moment of the stream is upon us. Here we go. And we see 2 players are going to be looking to leave, including Byron Gammon to the NFL draft, our best cornerback. So my rules are always, I will not convince a player to stay if they're projected to go in the first 3 rounds. If they're going to be an early draft pick, that's been a house rule in the series from day 1. And then Joshua Bloom wants to transfer due to playing style. I notice here we don't see D'Angelo Meyer. One of my thoughts I had going into the offseason today is that if D'Angelo Meyer doesn't transfer, maybe we force him to transfer. As he's entering his senior year, this has been a Lacumbo-led backfield. We're adding in now Keenan Cleveland. I do think I should let D'Angelo Meyer go, and him transferring would make sense. But we're going to bring back Leon Edmond. We're going to bring back Troy Hodel and Antoine Gatto. But Byron Gammon is going to be going to the draft, and then Joshua Bloom as a receiving back. Don't cut Meyer, he's going to disappear? Maybe we could test it out and see if he does disappear. I don't think he would because his ratings are very high. Kajus disappeared. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how all it works. Yeah, Gatto sticking around is massive. He has nearly 40 sacks the last 2 years. Let's see UNC. Let's take a look. And the Tar Heels. There's a lot of transfers here. Holy cow. Oh my. But I don't see quarterback here. David Ogbonna looks to be sticking around with the Tar Heels, but they're losing a dozen guys. That is brutal. I want to see Oregon as well, the champions. What are they losing? 3 players to the NFL draft, including a top running back. That seems mostly manageable for Oregon. They're not losing a huge core right now. Yeah, the Tar Heels might be really, really bad next season. Ogbonna might want to reconsider his options there. But yeah, with us, we're not going to convince Byron Gammon to stay. And, I like Joshua Bloom a lot. I almost kind of want to let him go somewhere to play as well. I mean, we're looking at a really good backfield right now with 2 top recruits the last 2 years. But it looks like we have a high chance to bring him back. What do you guys think? Joshua Bloom, do we try to have him come back or do we let him go? Realistically, he would transfer. I agree. I do think it makes sense, but he's a very likable player, and he's been very good the last couple of years. Let him go, let him go. All the running backs should transfer. Let him go. Let him spread his wings. All right, we're going to let Joshua Bloom transfer then. And, I might have to experiment, too, with Meyer. I was hoping Meyer would transfer, and it would just make sense from a storytelling standpoint. But, we're losing 10 players then this year. We have 13 incoming right now. Plus, there are some cuts I think we can make. We have 2 5-star running backs. We have Jimmy Sampson as well that I know we like Joshua Bloom a lot. Sampson is like the same archetype as him, and I think can do that receiving back job. And his skill caps are incredible. Like, Sampson could take a massive jump this year. Here's what we're working with Jimmy Sampson. Similar speed, acceleration, both good pass catchers. 79 carrying, 78 catching here. And this is all, of course, before they can progress this season. But yeah, I kind of want to see D'Angelo Meyer have a fresh start, and I would love to have Lacumbo, Cleveland, Sampson as our trio, and you can still have Harms as a backup there too. Like, that's so much depth. All right, so what are we going to do then in the transfer portal? I don't think that anything is like a must, but we're going to see if there's anybody that would be like a starting caliber player that could come in. Like cornerback now. We lose Byron Gammon. Hopefully we get some good development here, and I think we will. I still think we'll have a high-rated secondary. Why does it, like, open up the wrong player here all the time? Check your coaches. I saw the prestige go down. I guess I'll take a look at that. Thank you, Brian, for the heads up. Like, I think Devin Hester can take a really big leap this year and maybe be one of our top-rated corners, although he has normal development, so might not take a huge boost. But yeah, Gammon is going to be a tough one to move on from now. 2 years. 5 interceptions this past season. 15 passes broken up the year before. So this was something that almost never happened back on NCAA 14. Redshirt sophomores almost never declared. And I was just used to in that series with players playing until they were redshirt seniors. That's why in this game, I'm now at a point where I don't worry as much about redshirting players because, like, if DeMarco Lacumbo is here for 4 years, then he probably didn't reach our expectations. You should look at some of these players like they're going to go to the NFL as juniors or, you know, redshirt sophomores, but 3 years later. So we're going to play them for 3 years, especially when they're that good. Is Hester a returner? He's actually not one of our returners. He's not great at it like I wanted him to be. But we'll see if he gets any better. I think our prestiges are still the same here. A, B, and C. Does that make NCAA 25 a better game to you? Yeah, in a lot of ways. I think just seeing that player development, I think, is better in this game. The transfer decisions, I think, are better in this game. You know, it became very common in 14 for there to be like a bunch of 99 overall players, 99 awareness players at a bunch of positions. And the development was extremely linear because players essentially got better +4, +5, +6 every year. When I was playing Revamped and I had the mod, that improved it a lot. But I still think I prefer this way better. I certainly prefer the on-field gameplay a lot more here in 25. So despite there being a lot of shortfalls here and, you know, it's Dynasty at times can feel a little empty. Like the core stuff, like gameplay, recruiting, development, like huge edge to CFB to me, easily. But 14 was a deeper game that had some nice features that I hope get brought back. Things like being able to see the your matchup for that week on a nice menu that compared your team to theirs and with a prediction on who was going to win. I think that game did so much better with the trophy case. The instant classic feature, the ESPN classics were always great in that. There were a lot of things I liked about 14 that aren't here. But they're the smaller things to me. All right, draft results. 4 players drafted. Baptiste in round 2, John Burns round 2, Byron Gammon round 2, and then Kalen Meekins, he sneaks in the bottom at round 7. 4 players are taken. I'm just looking to see if there's any huge class that really stands out. I especially want to see in our conference who maybe lost a bunch. Like Georgia just had a bunch more players taken by the Eagles probably. I want to see Miami because they won the conference. Yep, that's a big class for them. So hopefully a change atop the conference now with them losing a lot of the players that led them to a win against us in that title game. Michigan loses a bunch. Let's go down here to North Carolina, losing a 7th-round linebacker, an off-ball linebacker. The transfers, though, man, had to have hit that team extremely hard. I don't think I've seen anything quite like that. From 54 overall to the NFL draft, the Kalen Meekins story is coming to theaters near you. Yeah, he was super low rated. He might have been somebody that I would have thought about cutting if it like came down to it with a competitive roster. But what I love in this game too is sometimes those guys in the 50s or 60s just pop off in the development cycle. And it's happened a couple times. Who was that receiver we had? Prochet. Sean Prochet ended up taking a really big leap one year. And it was like, wow, I didn't see that coming, and now he can play. All right, let's take a look at some transfer portal options then. So as far as high school players go, I'm focused here on Charlie Bowanko. He's going to be a kicker, and I think an excellent one. He's a gem. 93 kick power, 74 accuracy. That's about as good as you're really going to find most years. Also has the mega leg ability, whatever that does. On top of that, 1,200 hours to spend, and I have, very few ways to spend all of that right now. I don't anticipate any more high school recruiting. I've kind of been done with that for a while, but I will take a look at the portal. Yeah, let's see, Boise State. Okay. Almost an entire page of Boise State players. Iowa has about 5. Minnesota has 5. Okay, UNC actually had less. Maybe they convinced some of these guys to stay. Oklahoma, man. What are y'all doing? A&M has a bunch. Yeah, the extra hours will be a lot more useful next year when I probably... It's only natural we have a small graduating class this year and a massive one next. If you look at our roster right now, we have only 7 seniors, but we have 23 juniors. So expect a much larger recruiting class next season. All right, so who's the top player in the portal this year then? Well, we can't even talk to him. It is Layati Manuai, left guard, Oklahoma. Wow, and a lot of the best players are UNC transfers as well. They are losing their entire secondary here. This is all recommended. Give me any. Who's the best player that I could offer to? Unfortunately, I am scrolling a long way. I mean, bro, is there anybody? Can I bring in any player? All right, go back to recommended now. There's nobody. Sort with targets. Fives and 4s with interest. Only 1 5. Dude, this ain't cool. I mean, I do have more freshmen than like incoming players than outgoing. I plan to correct that with cuts. Is that keeping me from adding any more right now? I found some 2-stars. That's not it. Why is it like that? Like, especially the guys that have championship contender. And I have A. Yeah, the portal has to be broken because that is just not right. I can't do anything. What am I going to do with a 2-star wide receiver or running back? Ben Berry. Well, we may not have much to do here, guys. Unfortunately. Even when I sort by interest, it's still like mostly players I can't even interact with. There's like 3. Built, not bought. Exactly. Homegrown roster here in Buffalo. Scroll to the left and sort by target. So, yeah, it's still showing. Now it's more organized. A nice view of all the 2-stars I could talk to. All right, I guess there isn't much for us to do. We're not in anybody's top 8. That's wild. I guess we have to move on then. I'll check at the next stage, but I don't anticipate it changing at all. We'll definitely keep an eye on Joshua Bloom and where he ends up going. No one's even trying to bring in like the number 1 kicker. Hey, Kane, it's your AD. The feds found out about the Lacumbo money. Turns out the NIL budget is going to be gone this year. Good luck on the transfers. Nah, man, we hid that so well, they'll never find it. Why does Adam Kane own an LLC based in the Cayman Islands? That doesn't make any sense. Ben Berry is the last player I can even attempt to recruit right now. I'm really scouting Ben Berry right now. Is he a hidden gem? He has 85 speed, guys. This is not the underdog story that you think it is. Look, I'm sure he's going to be really, really good for North Texas next year. I thought I was like frozen for a second. The Locomotive is a great name for a running back. But you can't be like 165 pounds and call yourself the Locomotive. So we lucked out. The nickname came pretty easily. Now we're going to check Bloom here. We're just going to skip to the end. Give me my kicker. Charlie Bowanko. He might be the player you guys want to see the most. Even more than Keenan Cleveland here. We might get to the offseason practice stuff here really early in the stream compared to most seasons, as it is week 4 of 4. I just want to see Joshua Bloom and where he ends up going. But our class is basically done. Was Bloom like the best running back, I wonder? Second best. He is committed to Kentucky. He's going home. He is going home. He's from Bowling Green, Kentucky. He wasn't actually going to go to Bowling Green, though. He is going to Kentucky. I'll have to check their depth chart and see if he's going to be, like, starting. Because, like, you know, it might be fun to play Kentucky in a non-conference game. Why not? SEC. He's going home. We set him free. So, our recruiting class is going to be ranked now 16. We got one more week to go through, I think, before it's all final. Oh, yeah, Bowling Green is in Ohio. That's right. That's really confusing because Bowling Green is like a unique name. Bowling Green, Kentucky. Bowling Green University in Ohio. All right, National Signing Day is here. Western Kentucky is in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Really confusing, but I'll try to remember that one. Our final number here in the class is going to end up being at 20th, which is around what we've been doing in past years. Last season, we were 22. The year before, we were 20th. And 20 is the best we've done. So I think ranking-wise, we'll have a chance at our best this next year because we're actually going to need at least 25 players. The fact that we were 20th on a 14 class, I mean, shows you how top-heavy it was. Where are your coach skills at? Anything helpful there for the secondary? Not for my head coach as much. But let's take a look at abilities. And thank you, Jared, for being a member now for 8 months. Our DC is going to help out, you know, pretty much everything here with ratings. So, although he's like a C prestige, like having maxed out tactician there is really valuable. And then for motivator, we're getting bonus XP, off-season training boost here for DBs. And I have all that stuff for my head coach as well. Well, I guess maybe not nearly as many, but I don't have 15 points to get the tier 3 on that. So I have to kind of, I usually wait until I can buy all the stuff I need in bulk. All right, let's go to position changes. I assume we have some athletes that need to be assigned, and I was really interested here in Timmy Schmitz. He's going to come in as a 60. He might have been a gem, but Agile makes him an offensive line-oriented player. And I was thinking he might be more intriguing on defense, potentially. 74 tackling, 81 finesse. So that is right. Speed rusher. Yep. Defense is going to be his best position. But he is going to be a 68 overall. So we're going to make Timmy Schmitz a defensive tackle. We'll save Kenyon Traylor for last. I think he's the most interesting. Dan Calcaterra. So I brought in a couple different receivers. And then I knew I didn't need another receiver here, but Calcaterra just looked like a really good athlete. And I'm really happy to see that his defense is so high. This is interesting. He's a 75 tight end, or he can play 5 different defensive positions and then receiver and running back. Running back is actually above receiver. So what the heck is Calcaterra working with here? He has 94 speed, 90 acceleration, 71 carrying, good break tackle, good trucking. You know, it's pretty much 70s across the board in those areas. Route running, not great, but it's better if you call him a tight end with those numbers. And then defense is supposed to be solid. 70 tackling, 78 man, 73 zone, 27 press. Are we looking at like a safety tight end two-way odd athlete here? This is an interesting archetype he's kind of found himself. 94 speed tight end safety? I don't think there's a natural way for me to make that combination happen. That is wild. What even is his run blocking? It's a 55, so it's kind of typical of a lot of vertical threat tight ends. 87 return. This guy's got the most just like mashed together skill set. And then, 27 press. Was his release really 81? So what's hurting his chances of being a receiver is strictly the route running. Man, that guy is so weird. Where the heck do I play him, man? It's not corner. It's not receiver. It's tight end and safety. If you list him at corner, he can play receiver and safety. Huh. Is that the best way to do this? Yeah, it's fine route running for a freshman. That is right. And it's spread out too, so nothing there is on the low end. Man. Dan Calcaterra, just an athletic freak. He's Isaiah Likely. Yeah, but Isaiah Likely if he ran a 4.4. Redshirt him at tight end, bulk him up, lower his speed, prioritize safety. This guy is a freak playmaker. Does he have abilities? He does. Wait, no, it's the wrong guy. All right, no physical abilities. So I could just move him around to all the spots and see what his caps look like. I guess we can just like put him at tight end for now, but we're going to change his position about 7 times, I feel. Wow, Dan Calcaterra, man, what a player. Then James Trahan, we're looking at a 6 foot, 220-pound run stopper. Is linebacker his best? It is. Speed rusher. Also, they have him a little bit high at safety. That's why I love getting athletes. They're so interesting. 89 speed, 92 acceleration. So he has like typical safety athleticism, maybe even a little bit above average. So it's a matter of how close to the line of scrimmage does James Trahan play best. He has 81 tackling, 76 power, 69 block shed, 76 finesse move, 77 zone, 65 man coverage. We can probably just throw him in at linebacker. And then the final player is going to be likely a quarterback in Kenyon Traylor. And running back is actually his best at 80. But I still think Traylor is going to end up listing at quarterback. So he has 85 juke, 80 spin, 81 catching, 86 spec catch, and 81 short route running. So that's why he fits so good there. Very athletic. The spin and juke are a nice bonus there. Good release. 90 throw power, 86 short accuracy. I love that day one short accuracy. And his abilities are all quarterback based. '84 injury. So yeah, especially with our quarterback depth chart, you know, being a little iffy, we're going to list him at quarterback right now. I'd love for him to do it all, though. Quarterback, running back, receiver. And I don't know if anybody else needs to change. Because here's our quarterback depth chart now. It's Babineau, Jeffrey, Traylor. I mean, with Babineau's skill set, you could move Traylor to somewhere else. But still want to develop him here and see what his caps are. Because there's so many things that are close to Jeffrey. We know Jeffrey's accuracy cap isn't great. All right. Am I moving anybody else? I don't see why I would. I'll be cutting a couple of these receivers. Really surprised about that portal stuff, though. It would have been nice to get one or two potential difference makers. I have a lot of centers. Speed rushers don't develop at outside linebacker. I don't anticipate playing Trahan much as a pass rusher. We have a lot of better options for that. But is that true? They don't develop at outside linebacker? It's kind of odd. A lot of the best pass rushers in other games are listed at outside linebacker. Yeah, I might move Dorian Henry here because I don't know if he'll get much playing time. 6'3", 282. Wait, what's the strength? Yeah, 89 you can hold up there at guard. I'm going to move Dorian Henry to guard. We'll see what our starting five looks like. I think we're losing 3 offensive line starters this year. We are not losing Antoine Gatto. We could have a pretty stacked front four this year if the development goes our way. A lot of players here I'm excited about. And I want to see Amir Quarterman make that jump. He's one of those 3-star elite guys that is like just, you know, at any moment they could become like an 85+ overall. And I don't know why. Maybe it's because there are like 3-star is the widest tier in the game. But as I go through a lot of the best players, oftentimes it is 3 stars. And I don't know if it's because, like, there's something about the 3's development that is so good, or because there's just so many that it looks like the 3's are better. I'm going to save here. If you haven't already done so, please leave a like on the stream. We have 177 likes. All right, training results, guys. This is the big one here. One of the other big ones. Here we go. Leon Edmond. There it is. There it is. The 3-star elite jump. I told you. Wow, Jimmy Sampson. That's crazy. Jimmy Sampson just became RB1. On paper, at least. 92 3-star. I'm telling you guys, these 3-star gems, I'm like, these guys are so valuable. Jimmy said Keenan Cleveland go back to high school. So where did the development go? And how come he's a 92 and he can still get so much better? It looks like nothing went into route running. His hands are better, 86 catching. It was like a 78 before. 99 agility, 95 juke, 92 change of direction, and his speed was a 90. It stays a 90. This backfield's going to be just unbelievable this year. Part of why I was okay letting Bloom move on is because he could start somewhere probably, and I knew Jimmy was, like, coming. So, Leon Edmond 1, Jimmy Sampson, Steven Daniels, Troy Hodel, Antoine Gatto, James Childs. I think a pretty good jump for Steven Makovica. Vince Scotland Williamson. Wow, 86. 81 block shed. So the development didn't necessarily go exactly where I would have wanted it to. But that's still good to see. Yeah, what's Troy Hodel's run stopping now? 85 shed. Block shed in general is not one of our highest ratings. There's like one player I've been wanting to see develop a lot. That is Dalton Doss. He's our last ranked right end. It's because he's like a run stopper archetype, which those players that I was getting in the transfer portal early in this series that were run stopping ends were insane players. Doss has not had that kind of development yet. Let's go corner. Larry Pan, Tyreek Carmona, Devontae Carrion. Yeah, it doesn't it seem like cornerbacks just kind of cap out really early? Because these guys, I know they have room. $76 man, 78 zone. Hard to understand why Larry Pan is an 85. Good athlete, great athlete. So I still anticipate playing Hester, Carrion, and then who becomes the best now in man? Jamerson Boss with the best blend here. Ooh. I was playing Carrion in the slot, partially so I could do 99 speed cornerback blitzes with him. But he has the best press and the only one in the 80s. I might need to play him on the outside now. Maybe Larry Pan becomes the new slot. Lower press, high catching, good athlete still. A good blend of man and zone. It'd be like him and Carmona battling it out for that role. How about safety? Trent Cole and Anthony Titus are 87s. Ooh. So Cole is better tackling and with hit power, but really good coverage and better range out of Anthony Titus with better awareness. At strong safety, Carlos Harmon doesn't take a huge leap, but he has speed and zone coverage. He's not a very physical player. So, might be these two. Anthony Titus might be a starter now as a redshirt junior. And then at quarterback, I didn't even check this, but Karifi Jeffrey, did he get better? Yeah, a little bit in accuracy. He did get a little better. But Kevin Babineau is our highest rated quarterback now. So nobody really has great deep accuracy. Babineau the best medium, Jeffrey the best short. And the best throw under pressure. This almost feels like the Ogbonna Elway situation. A little bit. Like, Elway was the better downfield guy, but it's more so like Babineau might be a better player right away, but Jeffrey can develop and become better. Yeah, we're going to have to play with these guys and see what's up. The skill caps, the new players' skill caps aren't available, I don't think, yet, because I can't click on their profile. Cleveland, though, 79 overall. 97 speed, man, is going to be wild. Ben Van Roten, 79. Agnew is 75. Whoa, what's Ray Dove doing at 84? He was on my cut list. How did that even happen? His caps were not good. He was on my cut list. He's still slow. That two touchdown game, guys. Remember that 2 touchdown game at the end? You know, the caps don't seem to always indicate that a guy has a low ceiling, because he was like a 66. With the route runners, man, they're crazy. 95 medium route running, 98 catching, 99 spec catch. He's not getting cut. He is staying on this team. That is amazing. My NIL contribution to whomever the number 1 quarterback is. I appreciate that, Pierre. Thank you for the 10. Ray Dove might get drafted, guys. That's where we are right now. 83 overall, Ray Dove. He ain't going to be declaring early. He might be, like, staying here at 84 overall or whatever he is. But this is the same thing as Sean Blade, where, like, Blade's best thing is that short route running. He is our lowest rated receiver, and I'll tell you, he's not going anywhere. Because that route running at 95 short makes him so good in a lot of different ways. If that short route running were like 85, he might not be on the team. But he's like a red zone touchdown merchant. And then I also had been looking to cut Buck Jacob. I still have no idea how to say this name. But he is a route runner. And the route runners, man, these guys just take huge leaps. He still might end up getting cut, but we'll see. I guess I better check out my whole cut list. I had Nico Samuel as a cut player. Nico Samuel was at his caps. And I just don't think that he's good enough to get on the field here. He's not fast. I brought him in for his blocking, and even then, I feel like his blocking is just solid. So Samuel's probably cut. I have Jeff Marciano on the cut list. Capped with a pass rushing skill set. Can't really get to a great deal higher as a run stopper. He's probably gone. And then also Eric Sharp I had. 82 power is not terrible, but we have better players. And he's just not even that athletic. Like, he's so much slower than most of our D tackles and not good enough in other areas to make up for it. Did Amir get better? He is an 80. We'll take that. Sean Blade is like Nick Westbrook Akine. That is like comment of the day, Michael. Oh my God. I'm a Nick Westbrook Akine guy. And that is the most accurate comparison I can even think of. How many touchdowns did he have last year? Like 7 or 8? Hey, Chaz, becoming a new member to the channel. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see what Quarterman got. 84 block shed, and the sky is the limit there. It's so tough for me to take Jeremiah McDougal off the field in running situations because he's one of the only run stoppers we have. But Amir Quarterman now can rotate in a lot more this season. Yeah, these caps are nuts. And what is the reoccurring trend here? 3-star elite. Why am I not seeing this as much with 4-star elite guys? Where are the 4-star elites? Troy Hodell, he is a 3-star impact at 91. Who else was on the cut list? I have 2 linebackers here. Ringo, Franco. Starting with Kamani Ringo. Run stopping being capped there was an issue. And then coverage, it's better. Might have to reevaluate. Especially because it's senior, junior, junior. Maybe only one of these guys gets cut. And I think it would be Franco because his coverage is just not there at 86. His pass rushing is actually really good. Franco could play defensive end. So I think Ringo is now safe. Do I feel like I have depth to where I can cut players without worrying about depth at positions? In a lot of ways, yeah. But you have to think about like the timing of everything too. If you have a bunch of guys who are graduating in the next 2 years, cutting a freshman there might sting. Like maybe here I even consider, I like Spencer Jordan. He might not play though. He's just really fast. But in any case, I probably only need to cut at most 3 players. And we already talked about making D'Angelo Meyer one of them so he can go to a new team. So I might only have to cut a couple. And, yeah. These route running receivers, man, are insane. I wish that same kind of thing could happen for Roger Grimm. Grimm is like at his caps. We'll see what Grimm's role is this year. I'm not even sure what to think. Because he's still... I don't know if this speed acceleration combo is better. 94, 93? That feels really good. Especially with all the break tackle in there. Yeah, is Joey Tucker too slow? He wasn't on my cut list. But what if he has the big breakout? What year is he? Freshman. The route running is really good on him. And the release. I guess we'll see how many players I need to cut. Thankfully, it's not too many. So we are going to save it. We're going to make our cuts. And then I'll save. I'll cut D'Angelo Meyer. And we'll see if he goes somewhere. So I have to cut 5. I don't love that. But, all right. Nico Samuel, I thought, was an easier decision. He's just not going to see the field. So, we're not cutting him, guys. We're encouraging him to transfer, don't forget. All right. We have a lot of centers. We could always encourage someone like Charles Rust if we need to. So I'm going to cut that linebacker then Franco. I mean, encourage the transfer. Don't cut Meyer. Well, it's more so I felt like Meyer should be able to transfer. Like, look at the deal breaker. I'm sorry I'm blocking it right now. Why did he stick around? I am not cutting Carlos Harms. That is the garbage time monster right there. And if Lacombo went down, he would actually play in the red zone. I could potentially cut Joey Tucker. I don't know. I have 2 kickers now. I don't know if Morgan Grassmanis got better, but here are the ratings. I know it's kind of hard to read this. Bawanko has a... Can I not cut either one? Grassmanis has lower kick power, but 10 better kick accuracy, is what it's saying. So I like how I got prepared. I made a cut list. And what happened? Like, guys just developed so good, they override the cut list. Did I say Marciano was a cut? I think I have a lot of defensive tackles here. A lot of them are seniors. But I think we can cut Marciano. His strength is also only an 85. And then, yeah, I kind of felt like Rust might be able to be a cut candidate. Pass block finesse is an 85. I mean, he's certainly not the typical player you'd be cutting here. 99 lead block. I don't know. Some of his ratings are better than Brian Batista. Like the run block power, 67. Run block, 77. Pass block, 77. He just has really good pass block finesse, but that's at center. Brian Bautista is a sophomore, but the difference is that Rust is a senior, and I might not play him. How does the offensive line look? Nathan Hill. Got Henry and Barmore. Daniels probably starts at center. But Russ ratings, I think, are really solid, too. Childs, Ben Grubb. I only need one more, really, because I'm going to cut Meyer, too. But, like, looking at some of these ratings, I almost wonder if I should be starting Charles Rust. Redshirt Myers so he can transfer after the season. Is his red shirt? Yeah, it is available. I mean, that is an option if just, like, cutting him doesn't work. I can use that as a fallback, Eric. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I don't see Oji Naka getting a lot of playing time. I'm not even sure there's anything that he's better than Sampson at when it comes to being a pass catcher. He can stay healthy. He's got high injury. Really good short route running. That is better, actually. But yeah, realistically, we're playing Sampson, Lacombo, Cleveland. We'll let OG Naka, as a senior, get some playing time elsewhere. And then, like I said, I'm going to save here, and I want to make sure Meyer goes somewhere. If it doesn't work, then my plan is going to be to redshirt him, treat him like he's injured or something, and then hope that he transfers next year and he at least gets that chance. From a storytelling standpoint, it makes way more sense for Meyer to move on to a new team. So, we're going to see. Also, he had a down year last season, too. So, number 1 prospect comes in at running back. Number 2 prospect comes in. His production goes down. Workload goes down. You got to transfer away. That's why a system exists. So I'm not checking anything until I can get confirmation on him going to a new team. Scrolling. I don't have to go to the M's. I can go by overall, right? Jimmy Sampson's like a top 10 running back in the entire league. Yeah, I forgot to see what his true overall was. Yeah, he might not have gone anywhere. The redshirt idea is really good, though, as like a fallback option. I love that. I do have to cut somebody else to make that work. That's going to have to be our move then. All right. Let's reload it. Is the redshirt freshman kicker an option with 2 kickers on roster? Given his accuracy is like 10 points lower, I wouldn't think so. All right, so we'll just say Meyer has to take a redshirt year, and he will stick around, which means I still have to cut somebody else to make this roster work. Ah, man. I don't like cutting anybody on this team. I'm not interested in cutting Rust. I'm going to have to do some ratings comparison to see if he's good enough to even start. If you're in the starting conversation, you are not on the roster chopping block at all. What about Eric Sharp? Lower speed, lower awareness. What do you got? .82 power ain't bad. 86 tackling, 88 strength. I missed shed. .76. Yeah, I think he's too good to cut. I do have a lot of receivers. Just the numbers are getting out of control. I'll cut Joey Tucker. After all. I didn't wanna. But we have Ray Dove, who's a sophomore, and he wasn't gonna leapfrog Ray Dove. All right. I don't think we have to edit anything with conferences, but I do need to create a save point for like getting the scheduling and stuff to see if I can get what I want. Now, there was a situation that came up at the end of the season. We had a 6-way tie at 6-2 in the conference. I had no idea. Apparently, ties are broken here in this game by alphabetical order. And because we are the Buffalo Bulls, we lucked out. I didn't notice that until it was pointed out in the comments. I'm not sure we deserve to play in that conference championship game. That is insane. Madden has the ability to break deep tiebreakers. Madden has common game tiebreakers. So say there's 6 teams tied. You look at, okay, all 6 of you played these 5 schools. Now what's your record in those? That should have been the next tiebreaker, and I don't think it was ever done. So yeah. College Football 26 wish list. No alphabetical order tiebreakers, please. If you want to play UNC and Cuse for sure, I'd at least play with changing the ACC to divisions so you can play everyone in your division. Yep, it is an option. To force scheduling to close out the deal here. Because what would it be? This ACC is huge. That's 16 teams right there. 17, 18. Two divisions of 9. That would allow everybody to play everybody only in that division. You should do divisions as well to help prevent the alphabet tie. That is a good point, because the more teams you have, the more likely there is a 1 or 2 loss tiebreaker. At least with divisions, you clean that up, and now you're dealing with 2 leagues of 9, where head-to-head, I think, will come into play. Breaking a 3-way tie might get messy still. I'm not moving Stanford because they beat us and they're the number 4 team. It's too good to have that competition here. If we made a division, I would want it to include Buffalo, UNC, Syracuse, Stanford, because they beat us. I want to play them again. Boston College. So we grab we cherry pick those teams and the more northeastern teams too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you can always throw in Virginia Tech. They beat us too. What about booting Cal? I'm probably going to just let it be with the teams in here. Yeah, Pitt would also be in that same division. I might throw in Cal as well because they don't really fit anywhere else. And at least they'd be in the same division as Stanford. So we're going to try something here. I also have the option of increasing the number of conference games we play. We could have a 9-game conference schedule instead of 8, which would give us the chance to play somebody outside of our division. Might only be 1 team. I'd be down with a 9-game conference schedule. And yeah, I think it does make sense with how many teams are there. Just put 10 conference games, like it's an option. I can go all the way to 12. I'm not going to do that. 9 or 10 isn't bad. Yeah, we can do a couple different saves even and just see what they generate. Like, let me make this, like, I'm going to attempt to make this my year 8 save and just act like, you know, the divisions is what we're going to do, because I'm buying into the thesis here. You guys are like an 853 person think tank right now, a really good hive mind. All right. So, yes, we would need to change the championship game criteria to top division leaders by conference record. Bank of America Stadium is meant to be our championship game location. Is there anything else over there that would make sense? Everbank, that's where Jacksonville plays, right? State Farm. Isn't that where the Cardinals play? SoFi, Rose Bowl, Raymond James, NRG. Nissan is the Titans. MetLife Stadium. Bad for your ACL to play there. Lincoln Financial Field. Philadelphia. MetLife would also work, honestly. Hard Rock is Miami. Ford Field is in Detroit. Cotton Bowl is in Dallas area. I don't know if it's actually in Dallas. Commander Stadium. No name. Why is the Commander Stadium in here? Is there like a bowl game there? The Camping World Stadium. I don't know where that is. Division leader home. That does go hard. Cotton Bowl's in downtown Dallas. Okay. Does anybody play in the Cotton Bowl full time? Because is it SMU is in Dallas, correct? I don't think they play there, though. They don't play there. Or no. SMU. What the heck city is SMU? SMU used to play at the Cotton Bowl, so I was in the right area. Just Texas versus OU. It's not like regularly used for college football, and it's during the Texas State Fair. SMU is Dallas. They should play the next Texas-Oklahoma game at Texas Motor Speedway. Just fill that thing up. All right, so, I mean, Bank of America is where it's meant to be. We could stick with that. Conference games, 9 or 10? Because at this stage, like, I love the idea of a huge, like, conference gauntlet. The more games we play, the less likely there is to be ties atop these divisions. 9 is good. Gives you a chance to play, 3 non-conferences, a bit of a tune-up, a couple, games to figure it out. You guys seem to like 9. So 9's good. We'll call the divisions. I mean, I don't even know what to call the divisions. Thoughts on the Vols and Nico drama? I couldn't believe like the headlines, like just seeing like Tennessee in a contract negotiation battle with their quarterback. Did I say Clemson? I meant Tennessee. That was wild. Where's Nico going, and how much is the NIL offer going to be now? Leaders and legends. I think the Big Ten only did that for like a year. They used to be Atlantic and Coastal. That's hilarious. North Coast and South Coast. Okay, I get down with that. We're going to be in the North Coast. You can't divide it East and West, really. South Coast, it sounds good to me. Do you still want to play at Bank of America, or do you want the possibility of playing in the snow? Either way, it's going to be an NFL stadium. The Middle Coast. MetLife for content. Link or MetLife. Bank of America is fine. Leave it. MetLife. Don't think Miami or Clemson would want to play in the snow? Well, then they better hope the forecast goes their way. We can do Bank of America. All right. So I have some work to do. We're bringing California. We're bringing UNC. We're bringing Pitt. We're bringing Stanford. Louisville. Kentucky is... Do you guys consider Kentucky a northern state or a southern state? Because it is like the most north of states that you might consider southern. It's like the Missouri of the East Coast. All right, you guys are saying south. Kentucky's part of the South. It's 8 hours away from Buffalo. How far is it from Tallahassee? Who's coming to the North Coast Division? Because these teams all pretty much, I think, fit the South Coast. But we got Georgia Tech. I mean, that's pretty south. NC State. They should be with the North Carolina teams. The cleanest way is probably the 2 Virginia teams. I like that. So then you got the 1 random team in Texas. You got the whole North Carolina college gauntlet to go through there. Georgia Tech, Florida State, Clemson. I like it. We just have North Carolina over here because for selfish reasons, we need UNC here. Or the other thing you do is you move North Carolina to the South Coast and you like regen the schedule until they're the 1 team from the South Coast that we get, which would be like an 11% chance of happening. Exactly. It's not South Carolina. It's North Carolina. We need them to play against them. Like, y'all realize the reason we're even doing this is so I can play North Carolina. So, at some point, we have to abandon the loyalty to geography, which, you know, college athletics have already done a great job at doing. All right. So this is my Buffalo Year 8 save. I want to see what type of schedule they give us. All right, Stanford, Wake, Pitt, Syracuse, Virginia, Cal, UNC, VT, BC. So the one team from the other side they gave us was Wake Forest. Are we happy with this, or do we run it one more time? I haven't checked Ogbonna's ratings yet, no. It is a good schedule. All right, you guys are happy with it? It is already going to be tough because our division is, like, stacked. So getting, like, the worst team from the other side isn't too bad. It looks good. Yep. I like it. Yeah, let's check out Ogbonna. The late season stretch is really good. I especially like playing those northern teams later when the elements might become more of a factor. So that feels right. All right, Ogbonna stayed about the same. David Ogbonna. He had, I think, one more throw power. Maybe that went up. But we should get a chance to play against him now. Let's check out Kentucky's roster. Would they be a good out-of-conference opponent? Joshua Bloom. I think Kentucky would be a really good, like, third non-conference opponent to play before getting into the conference schedule. You know, a team that's kind of on a similar level that can test us going into that game. They have a senior quarterback. They got our running back in Josh Bloom. They have some good receivers. Kentucky feels like a really good team to play. Can I play Kentucky here? They are unavailable in week 5. We can play them right there. Also, what did our home and road schedule look like? I like going at Stanford, primarily because we lost to them. I don't even remember where that game was last year. I think it was in our stadium, actually. They brought that whole tree across the country. But, you know, playing there after losing to them feels right. I love getting 3 home games right here because this is like prime visit season. So setting up a lot of recruiting visits here is nice, especially like, you know, Wake Forest feels like an easier game for us. That might be a good one. At Virginia, at Cal, and yeah, having Ogbonna come back to Buffalo feels like it makes more sense than us going there. And then at Virginia Tech, home against Boston College. It's a good schedule. I like it. How many home games there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I need, you know, 1 or 2 home games here. Not sure yet if I'll play at or home against Kentucky. I don't want to play week 0. I'm tired of playing week 0 because then for most of the year, I have more games played than other teams. And so when I check out volume statistics, I have the edge because I just played more than others. So That's not happening. Are the Twins losing yet? I appreciate y'all not feeding into my Twins depression right now with like updates. They are currently winning. Buxton went yard. Is Brooks Lee in the lineup? He is. Of course he has a hit too. Awesome. GG's. You know, I like having a little bit of an easier game in the opener. I also like, you know, trying to find a specific reason to pick certain teams too. If there's anything intriguing with a certain roster. Good one, Remy. Bowling Green. How do I feel about the Commanders? I think you got to feel pretty darn good about the state of that team. They definitely surpassed my expectations last year. I felt like it was going to be really disappointing, just the fact that they didn't get as much out of that defense as they should have, given some of the top first rounders they had made, but kind of become more of an offensive identity team, and I really like Jaden Daniels. And I wish I had been more on the bandwagon before those primetime games where he really stood out. Looking at the top players right now in the league to see if there's like anybody interesting that'd be, you know, fun to play against. Kona Gizzy, top running back. Manu Incognito. The top tight ends are slow. Kennesaw State has one of the best pass rushers. Titus Rashid. Boise State Blue Stadium. Lost a lot of players. Yeah. We could completely blend in with the field and make it our home field advantage, actually. Battle of the Blue Fields is not a bad idea. What does Bowling Green look like this year? Still a couple guys in the 90s. We've kind of made this a rivalry, and they do have the last laugh as of right now. So I wouldn't mind going at Bowling Green to start the season. And now what's that middle game? You know, if I check out our notes, our bowl losses have been to Georgia Southern and Old Dominion. I don't think we ever had a part 2 with Notre Dame. Corey hurt. And he's injured. Really? Yeah, I'd say he's hurt all right. When does he get to play? That's really tough. And you know what? He's wearing an arm brace, indicating there has been other times he's been hurt. Also, a wrist brace on the left. Elite 4-star. I was looking for one. How do you have 99 injury? Your name is Corey Hurt. You wear 2 braces and you have a shredded Achilles. Something ain't adding up here. 99 injury. So if this tells us anything, you know, you can look at attributes all you want, but sometimes just look at a guy's name. So if we take on the Broncos, I don't think we'll be seeing one of the best linebackers there. Jimmy Hacker. Josh Aligwe. 90 speed. 4-star normal. Yeah, very good player. Number 1, I like it. Never played. First year starter. So, 81 overall Boise State. This team kind of feels better than an 81 if you just look at the offense. But it's their defense that's rated better. Clay Bawanko. Corey Hurt, man. I can't get over that. That's secondary, man. I don't know about that. Let's go and see Notre Dame. Max Wall. Chip Dillard. From Buffalo, New York. Are you kidding me? Why didn't you stay home, Chip? Could have been real easy. You had to move to Indiana. CJ Worthy. Glenn Hills. Dwayne Capps. Sterling Gore. Lane Ruxkowski. Thankfully, he's a guard. I never have to say his name actually doing the commentary. Timmy Christmas. Van Treese Homa. They're an 88. Murchkowski. Scott Murchkowski was a Charger back in the day. Got it. In case their backup right guard comes in, I would be fully prepared now. Any name with like a Z in there is like, oh boy, buckle up. This is going to be a tough one. Max Wall is the perfect lineman name. Absolutely is. On the other hand, the Twins have a reliever whose name is Scott Blewett. Blewitt. Blewett. And there was a kicker for the Steelers whose last name was Blewett, right? Must have been before Boswell. Boswell's been really good for a long time. It's kind of surprising Pittsburgh has had a kicker stick this long when, like, that's not an easy place to kick. Or an easy division. Every team is outdoors. A lot of bad weather games, ugly football, a lot of 19 to 16 games where, like, the kicker actually really makes a big difference. So shout out to Chris Boswell. The defending champs. I got a big old senior class this year. What have I missed, Kane? Quite a bit, I'd say. Appreciate the super chat. If I had to recap things to this point, Josh Bloom has transferred away to Kentucky. We're going to play him. I was unable to do any transfer portal work because there were only like 9 players I was even able to talk to, and they were all 2-stars. And we have sorted the ACC now into 2 divisions, and it's going to give us the ideal schedule for this year, and we have a good one. So right now we're setting that schedule and finding our 12th opponent. Oh, and Jimmy Sampson is now like a 92 overall. We already have an SEC team on the schedule, so we're not going there. I feel like our time against Temple is probably done in this series. We've played them just so many times. We've won the best of 7 there. Yeah, we were essentially locked out of the transfer portal. There were like 9 2-stars I could even attempt to bring in. And there wasn't really any point to. I had to back out because the team banners were getting messed up. So yeah, we've played Army once. I kind of like the Boise State game a little bit. Their team, outside of their secondary, does seem pretty decent. Do we like Boise State? Or Notre Dame? Or how come Hawaii has been brought up so many times? Because of, were they on a previous schedule that got rotated out or something? This would have to be a road game, by the way. Oh, they're 76. That's pretty low. Boise State? I'm cool with Boise State. Winner gets to bring home the blue turf. And you don't play Boise State to play them on at home. You play at their house. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And yeah, I'm cool with it being like this. 6 and 6. Sometimes I'll go 7 and 5 now, but I think, we lost to Bowling Green, so we're going to their house. We got to play on the blue turf. Albertson Stadium. How many college football stadiums are named after a grocery chain? All right. So here we are in the preseason. Kentucky plays at Kroger. Do they seriously? Target Field. Yeah. We're only like a couple years away, though, from potentially the Broncos playing at like Walmart Field, though. Piggly Wiggly Stadium. Yeah, that one would be awesome. That would be like the home of South Carolina. Piggly Wiggly Stadium. We need a HEB stadium, though, in Texas somewhere. There is an HEB Center where the, like the Spurs G League team plays. Surprised the Razorbacks don't already play at Walmart Field. Albertson Stadium, though. The Costco Coliseum goes hard. Dude. Publix Field in Florida. Maybe we're on to something here, guys. Buc-ee's Stadium, 1 billion miles wide. Yeah. I would definitely go to Buc-ee's Stadium. Let's set up our new recruiting board, guys. Aldi Arena. Yeah, it'd have to be an arena. You can't have Aldi be like this big, sprawling 80,000 capacity stadium. Aldi would have to be like a basketball arena. All right, so this year, 21 outgoing seniors, including 2 tight ends. So I think I might be better off down here in this corner for now. The Taco Bell Bowl. Oh, man. That sounds like it could be a bowl game in the next 5 years. There's already a Pop-Tart Bowl, and they go really hard with the whole Pop-Tart mascot and everything. I'm pretty sure there's actually like a toaster. Tight end, we have a couple young guys, including Dan Calcaterra, who like is a freak. We have a lot of senior offensive linemen. So just counting how many players we have that'll return for next year, it's still a lot. I have a good spread here between all the years. And still a lot of freshman offensive linemen, too. Our 2 deepest groups there are senior and freshman. That's probably the best spot to be. And then we're losing 3 DTs. Definitely a run-stopping defensive tackle would be awesome to get this year. We could use some younger linebackers. But overall, we can still let it be driven mostly just by getting the top talents. So I always like to see, of the best players, who actually wants to come to Buffalo. So the number 2 player in the whole class has a 6. And then the number 9 player has a 6. Dwayne Johnson? Man, Buffalo's a pretty big deal if The Rock wants to come to play for us now. You guys know about Brian Dragosevich on our team. How about Devin Dragusevich? Dragusevich. We have a Dragosevich. Dragusevich. Never seen that name generated here before. So no 5s and 4s have us as their 1. Okay. So I'm just putting all these players here who have us like in their top 4. I want more of a 25 player class this year. I pretty much go for a quarterback every year. We have a couple targets here already, including Dwayne Johnson, the athlete from Maryland. A couple receivers here already. Receiver, we just brought in a couple freshmen too, so not a huge priority. I worry about the blocking guys ever having enough speed to get on the field. And you can't see speed prior to like the year after you bring them in. Always good to have some more offensive line targets here. DT's one where I really want to load up on some more run-stopping scouting. The best players just seem to all be pass rushers, which isn't too surprising. We'll scout 5 plus. I need some run stoppers here. We can try there. .66 327. That's what I'm talking about. And then, yeah, linebacker was one that looked like we need to do more there. I want some more archetypes. How's it going, AJ? Been a while since you've been here or watched the channel? Well, I'm doing well. I think we're all doing pretty well here. 100 episodes into the Buffalo Bulls Dynasty. That's pretty crazy to do 100 episodes here. I mean, it's been the focus of the channel for a while. So, not too surprising when I haven't been doing much else. Although I did do an extra season of the Saints. It used to be I'd do like 4 or 5 years of a series in a year. But I do less series at a time now, and the focus has let me get pretty far in this one. I like hybrid safeties. All right, 30 targets is a good start. .88 finesse, 85 tackling. That's a lot of strength there. Jameson corner. Screen enforcer platinum too. Dwayne Johnson right here, guys. Not what you want to see there. They're calling him a bust. There's a gem, Jason Clemens. Hard to bring in busts at this stage of the dynasty when the roster is this competitive. 94 strength. Yes. Ooh, Von Phillip, quarterback, athlete. There's an option if we want to go quarterback at all. Been getting so many fast receivers lately. I'm not sure if that's just like the norm, but 94 and up seems to be pretty common right now. Fetu Sammy, 92 speed, 85 tackling, 73 shed, 75 zone. Wow. From New Jersey, he's in our main home pipeline too, the Big Apple. Yes. I really just want to get on to practice, honestly. I wish they could, like, put practice here so I could do it before having to do all this stuff getting into the new season. We're a 4-star team now, by the way, as well. So we'll have even more points to spend on recruiting this year. That comes at a good time with a big outgoing class. That's back-to-back gems here at D-tackle. Three of them. Can I get a fourth? Not yet. Yeah, we haven't even checked out skill caps, honestly. I kind of forgot about that. We spent a lot of time on the whole custom conference thing, but I think it ended up being pretty worth it. So while we do some of this more boring work, I guess you could say, what games you guys been playing lately? It's April. What's come out this year? Braden Gillikin. What games is everybody playing? For me, obviously, what you see on the channel, MLB, CFB. 96 speed hybrid safety. Holy smokes. Retro Bowl. AC Shadows. Yeah, I've heard a lot of kind of back and forth on that game. Some love it, some don't. That's kind of the way modern AC is these days. Helldivers 2, good choice. A couple of you playing Monster Hunter. I haven't played Wilds yet. I assume at some point I'll have to pick that up. Still on FF7, man. I got so much JRPG catching up to do. It's unbelievable. Speaking of JRPGs, I waited 18 months, guys. My headset's falling apart too. I have replacement earpieces coming in today, but or tomorrow, I don't know. My headset's like falling apart. But I waited a year and a half for limited run to send the Midnight Channel edition of, let me grab the whole box. Persona 4 Golden. I waited a long time to get this one. One of my favorite games ever, Persona 4. So, this will mean something to a few of you. A couple. A game I've already beaten, of course. At some point, I have to make another run at it. I hope they remake it. Man, I would love a remake. That was the game that got me interested in playing JRPGs. They're announcing in a couple weeks, you think? Are they going to side-by-side announce like a Persona 4 remake plus Persona 6? That would make my year. I still got to play Persona 3 Reload, but man, Persona 4 like set such a high bar for me. And then Persona 5 came out and I'm like, I can't believe they beat it. I can't believe this game I actually like more than Persona 4. NBA Street Volume 2 needs a remake. That is true. Just remake all the old Street games with the new rosters. I would eat that up. Come on, Persona 5 is close to 10 years old here. We got to be getting to Persona 6. They can't just remake and spin off. There has to be a main series game coming, right? Or did the same team that made Persona 5 also do SMT 5? because that came out only a couple of years ago. I know that they're part of the same series. I don't know about like which developer did each game. Oh, Metaphor. I knew it was an Atlas game. And yeah, that game has like Persona DNA all over it. There's got to be a team working on P6. I will also accept even more Persona 5 spin-offs. I'm fine with that too. Yeah, I know. Well, Skyrim's a little bit different. You're going to have a big open world with a lot of depth and stuff in there. And, like, I think they realize that the same engine that powered that isn't going to be good for a game 2 generations later. I guess we got a little taste of that with Starfield, which did feel technically better. But it wasn't a sprawling open world game. It was more of like a broken up open world game. Like Starfield is honestly more of a hub game. Like Dragon Age Inquisition is basically that structure. Because it's not a large persistent world. I didn't realize you were that old. We need another Guitar Hero. Man. I need another Guitar Hero game like I need water to survive. I've played so much Guitar Hero and Rock Band in the last 6 months. That's been one of my main things to play outside of content. Is I've been like running through the entire series, trying to rebuild the skill set I had when I was like 14. I do need a few more players here on the board. I might just go heavy on the athletes here. Need to add a quarterback to the recruiting class. I try to, get one a year. Yeah, I think it's just a good practice, especially in a game where like guys can declare early or they might transfer away, or you have like, the RNG with the skill cap system and player development. It's just good to be able to take multiple swings at a time there. When was the last Guitar Hero even made? I mean, excluding Guitar Hero Live, which was like a very different game with a different style guitar, I think the last like true Guitar Hero game was Warriors of Rock, which is like a 2010 game. I just beat it like a week ago for the first time. At work, we'll watch later. Much love. Thank you for that super chat. That's what I'm talking about. The stream will be here for you when we're all wrapped up. If you missed anything or want to watch it again, why would you want to do that? I don't know. When is the next Marlins franchise video coming out? We're looking at tomorrow for more Marlins. That'll be tomorrow's focus. Drafting, where I think I already know what I'm doing. I think I already know who I'm taking. Number 1 overall. That's been a fun series if you haven't checked it out on my second channel, MrHurriicane LP, the Miami Marlins franchise. It is the series that caused the uploads in this series to slow down here in March, April. Ooh, 98. Offer athlete Phillip for quarterback. Did I miss somebody? Ooh. Keep the gems coming. Giving A's vibes so far. You know, that's more of what I was going for. I really wanted this to be a really fun draft and develop series. And I think that we're still only scratching the surface, but we're moving at a good pace and we're getting there. Any thoughts on what Madden 26 team you'll use? You know, if I think about what teams make sense here, like a big one's going to be the Saints, but I just use them in my main channel series. Cleveland makes sense, but I use them, you know, in the first franchise rebuild on the second channel. They would make sense for another go at it. But if I try to pick some newer teams, if I really want to change things up, Cowboys, yeah, some of you saying Cowboys, I think they make some sense. The Jets continue to make sense. Yeah, I might offer to Phillip down the road. I just wasn't offering here right off the bat, but I guess he is a gem, and I've been offering to all gems. If you're going to do a Madden series again, this next game, like the Buffalo one, you should consider the Colts. The Colts are a good option, yes. You know, as far as the main channel goes, my kind of philosophy there is like I'm really into doing college football dynasty stuff, and like it's hard to do one plus a franchise and go fast and make a lot of progress in both. Like, I'll probably do another franchise on the main channel sometime, but I want to wait for like when it feels like there's something fresh and like, you know, I play every game on this channel, all the games, no simulating. So we have to work slower. And so if I do that again, I need an experience that like is worth not spending that same amount of time on CFB, which right now is, I think, a much more intriguing game with, you know, more fun team building possibilities and whatnot. So, I mean, I like doing my franchises on the second channel, and for now, they're going to be staying there. Lucas, new member on the channel. I really appreciate that. Every month at the end of the month, I do a channel member live stream. It's a smaller stream where I can talk with all the channel members, and we have a good time talking about the state of the channels, ideas I have coming up for new stuff, and kind of monthly check-ins. Garrett Crochet no-hitter through 7 against the White Sox. That's amazing. His old team. I need to get a couple offers out here just so I can move on. I'm sorry this is taking so long. It's not ideal. I don't want you anyway. All right, that gets all my points spent. Good start. An idea for a Madden franchise would be downloading an 03 roster and doing a franchise from there. So Madden 20 is one of those games that like I really enjoyed playing, and it's a game I can see myself going back to. I actually, before the servers went down for it, I downloaded all of the classic rosters I could find. Now, I haven't used any of those yet, but, you know, I'd like to do some more unique things sometime and to really switch things up. Those classic rosters would be a lot of fun if they're done well. You know, I was thinking the other day about how, like, I do most of my series based on these long-term, you know, long rebuilds and franchises. I was kind of just wondering, like, would it be interesting at all to, instead of do that, but go to, like, some of these other games or whatever and do, like, just one season, like, one and dones, like, playing with a team that's not terrible and just, like, you know, taking a decent team with, an older, unique roster and just running through a full season to change it up. Skill caps, got it. Let's see what we got. It's a smaller class. It shouldn't take long to check this stuff out. So, Kenyon Traylor versus Karifi Jeffrey. These are Jeffrey's caps. He's very close to his accuracy. Kenyon Traylor with Star Dev. Ooh. Not much of an accuracy cap. His throw power is going to be staying at 90. That is a big difference between those two. So Traylor is our fastest quarterback. Traylor is very close to Karifi Jeffrey in terms of short accuracy. Jeffrey is 1 lower in medium, 3 higher in deep, 6 higher throw under pressure. And Traylor overall a more dynamic runner and playmaker that way. We're going to have to try both out, I think. I found an 09 and 12 roster on Madden 20 with actual pictures and draft classes. Been playing for 4 seasons now. Was that on PC Griff? With the actual pictures? And then Braven became a member earlier for 73 months. Don't know if it's too late, but I hope the next game has dynamic weather and time changes. Yeah, MLB does that. Like, it'll start off, you know, in the evening and transition into night. It's kind of surprising the football games haven't really done the dynamic weather thing. Oh, it's on PS4 or PS5. Well, I might have the same files, because I was downloading, like, the most popular classic rosters. I'll have to check those out. See if I have that. Keenan Cleveland. 5-star elite development. Ooh. This guy's a game breaker right here. Very, very good skill caps. Not 30, though. Not number 30. Maybe 22. I can do more with, like, the player customization and stuff on my own. But, yeah, I'll edit that number at least. All right, the receivers now. Ben Van Roten. Very good caps here as well. We like to see that. High upside route running. Hands uncapped. And then for Carl Agnew, also elite, but 4-star. Yeah, really good. Like uncapped route running, uncapped quickness. I'll take that all day. Dan Calcaterra, listed at tight end. So the caps here are not going to be great for him to keep developing. Might be one of those players we have to move to a bunch of different positions to see if his caps change. So the other spot we liked a lot was going to be safety or corner. Yeah, there's some more growing he could do here at cornerback. I know safety was really the true position, but cornerback offers more like flexibility. He could play receiver and safety if he was listed there. So I anticipate he could be a player that like we move just for development's sake, but we list somewhere that like lets us use him in all the spots. But, you know, tight end safety is a tough one to achieve. So defense offers the best cap situation for him. I'm curious about receiver because that skill set like would ideally get better too. I think Calcaterra also needs like a single digit number. Yeah, it's all better on the defensive side. But I'll go back to listing him at tight end for now. He's a 5-tool player. That's why he wears number 5. All right, Jaron Missouri. Not the greatest caps here for a 5-star player, but nothing too outrageously bad either. Nolan Humphreys. All right, caps here aren't, you know, great. Not completely broken. Jamar Freitas. With normal dev, he's going to have a harder time breaking through here as more than a backup. All right, Jeffrey Wire. This is a big one. Elite 4. Nice. Uncapped power move and finesse move. That's really good. This is one of our best cap, skill cap situations to come into a new year. Timmy Schmitz. Elite, that's right. And these are really good caps, too. He has a longer way to go, but a path to actually getting there. This was a really lucky class. Normal on MrHurriicane. Why aren't you telling me? It's bugged. Let me just leave the roster and go back in. I don't know why the roster menu gets so bugged. Like after a while, it'll stop like opening up even the correct player's profile anymore. It's probably not great, but it's just literally not opening. Try again another day. Byron Lamb. 4-star normal. Not great caps. We'll assume that MrHurriicane isn't great too with normal dev. Jermaine Toon. Yeah, those aren't good. And at kicker, Charlie Bawonko can get better than he currently is. Not significantly. Kick power stuck at 93, which is fine. Do you guys prefer the upgrading system in NCAA or CFB, I guess, compared to Madden? Do you like a more hands-off approach to it versus Madden with the archetype system and choosing how players get better? I don't mind it being more hands-off. I never feel like I need to have that control over my players developing. Like, it'd be interesting if you could merge the systems of CFB and MLB. Like, imagine that the upgrading was actually done automatically, but like an MLB, you can choose an emphasis for a player. Hello? One of my kitties came in here to say hello. Like, I think that would be kind of like the best of both worlds there. But also, like in Madden, after a while, when you have like 15 guys in a week that need an upgrade, it's extremely tedious. I wish it did show the information, for sure. Come here. Come here. Oh. She doesn't like to be picked up very much. If my other cat came in here, he'd probably let me pick him up. Come here. Just jump up here. Trahan won't develop. That's why I switched position. Is there a reason why it's showing that as like extremely bugged though? I don't think I've ever had a player just straight up not appear ratings wise. A cat cam for reactions. They don't come in here much when I stream. Like, the door is available for them to come in. They just don't really come in here when I'm working on stuff during the day very often. So, not all the times. My little boy cat, he'll jump up on my computer tower, and I can't stand when he does that. Let me see if I can, there. That's why I got the cat tower in here. She's the only one who really cares about it. I guess we have to try out Ray Dove today. We're not going to forget about, Roger Grimm. He's not the old toy we're throwing away. But there are some guys here that, like, it's time to unleash the likes of Nelly Jarrell and others. Man, we didn't really talk about Jarrell, but I feel like he didn't even develop. He's still fast. He has good hands. He has good spec catch. You could still argue, like, as a receiving tight end, he could be better than Dugans, but I'm guessing there is a blocking divide there where Dugans significantly beats him out. So I think Dugans is still a starter. I'll mess around more with the offensive line later on. But it looks like it'll still be a really good unit. I primarily wanted to test out new skill players on offense, and then kind of that secondary laid out the way I told you guys earlier, where I'd have Carrion and Hester and Larry Pan in the slot. But I still have Boss here as someone, too, I want to play. I guess I'd also wonder about Hester in the slot. Let's try that out. And then I want to try Titus at strong safety. Oh, what's her name? That's Sora. That's Sora up there. The cats aren't related or anything. They're they have a very complicated friendship because my little guy, he's still technically a kitten. He's like a year and a few months old now, but he sometimes takes the playing too far, and now he's larger than she is, so he can manhandle. It shouldn't be possible for him to still be a kitten with kitten energy, but also like 14 pounds. That's really obnoxious. Yeah, we're going to try, we're going to give Ray Dove some playing time. Going to give Dove some love. Kingdom Hearts inspired? No. It's just the name my wife liked. I don't think my wife's even played Kingdom Hearts. And I haven't. I have the whole series, but I haven't played it. But my cat Neo's name was Matrix inspired. Yeah, I mean, the carrying thing is going to be us mostly just testing things out, and we'll see if he actually does play on the outside or not. I got to get back in. That practice wasn't appearing. Where's free practice? I know it's available in week 0 usually. I don't have a game. Is it only available during game weeks? Do I like dogs? I do. I do. I don't have a dog anymore, but I probably would have another one in the future. Is Meyer going to get some practice time? So the plan with Meyer is I wanted him to be able to find a new team, but he didn't choose to transfer. So I cut him, and he didn't go to a team. So I reloaded the save, and now the plan is to just redshirt him and try to like force him to transfer, make that decision on him to transfer more defined. So I'm not planning on using Meyer this year. Unless there's like an emergency, I guess. What kind of cats? I have 2 black cats. There's Sora. She's like 2 or 3. Then my other cat is just over a year old. I had another cat. Unfortunately, she had to be put down a couple months ago. I had her for over 10 years. I think you guys might have seen her a couple times. She was a big, fluffy cat. I might have to go to the next week. But yeah, I can always just not save. Just go practice. My thoughts on the Nico situation. The Nico situation is weird. Just seeing that, like, we're now at the stage where there are going to be, like, contract negotiations and holdouts in college football. It's kind of wild. I'm all for the players getting paid and whatnot. It's just weird that this is kind of where we are now. Especially, like, ahead of the spring games and stuff. This is not, like, at the time where you think this stuff would even be going down. All right, guys. Looks like we're going to finally get some action here with these new players. And we'll move the ball back. Got to be able to test out Jeffrey's arm strength a little bit. Yeah, bad year for Nico's. Although in Nico Harrison's case, that was his call. That was his fault. All right, so at quarterback we have Karifi Jeffrey. He is a lefty. I keep forgetting that. Oh, what a throw. But I think it is a legitimate battle between him and Traylor. Like, Traylor is a better runner with better accuracy related skill cap. So, like, you know, maybe here, week 1, season 8, Karifi Jeffrey's the best quarterback. At what point, though, could the answer be Traylor? Ooh. And here is Keaton Cleveland for the first time, our 97 speed red shirt freshman. And we got to see more of what this speed can do, because we've had D'Angelo Meyer, who is fast. But Cleveland is a notch higher. And in this game, I do think there is a decent difference between each level, from 95 to 96 and beyond. And man, the first few touches definitely feel very dynamic. And also keep in mind, I'm on a 60 speed threshold, which would mean his speed advantage is slightly neutralized from where it would be at a default speed threshold. Cleveland got redshirted. That is not the plan. The plan is to play him. Deep shot. Ooh, good coverage. I'm not sure we're going to really test out both kickers. I don't really think that we would get a good feel for much there. Like, the accuracy rating is worse for the new guy compared to Grass Manis. Ooh. Ray Dove. We are going to have to see Jimmy Sampson, too. The running back talent in this series is at a peak. I should also test out, like, moving around with Jeffrey and how he feels doing the more dynamic stuff. Because, you know, like, Babineau, his accuracies weren't overall as good as Elway's last year, but the times I had to bring him in and I used that mobility, it was like, all right, this is kind of it does change the game. Just that like 5 extra speed points makes it so you can escape some situations the other guy can't at times. You can do more with the design plays. Nice deep ball. Jeffrey, a freshman, he's a red shirt freshman. Kenyon Traylor is a true freshman. Let me try to throw one more ball to Cleveland, and I will try out Sampson. I want to see him down on D-pad. That's weird. On a wheel route. Oh, man. The safety just got out there. How about this route? Oh, Jeffrey misses him. All right, you guys want to see Jimmy? You know, it could be a slider thing with why the O-line gives up so much pressure. You know, in general, I want to see us, you know, not get all day in the pocket. Like, to keep things more realistic, it's good to have the pocket degrade. And, you know, the mark of a good offensive line isn't giving you, like, these 7-second pockets, but more like reliable 4 and 5 at times second pockets. And I still feel I get a lot of that, and a lot of the pressure I'm giving up is still kind of self-inflicted. But more than anything, it just feels like sometimes the guards get beat off the ball, and it's like, well, what am I going to do? And the guards were supposed to be our best players last year. Oh, there's a miss. Jimmy Sampson is on the field now. Number 25, one of the greatest risers in Dynasty history. He went from like a low to mid 70s to now like a high 80, low 90s rated running back. And his skill set is really good in the passing game. He's a great pass catcher. And he's very shifty with the ball in his hands as well. Doesn't have the same top end speed of Cleveland, but I could see him being like an even better version of what Joshua Bloom was last year. So he doesn't have a lot of power. Not the most speedy guy, so he does have to have some make-you-miss capabilities in his game. Ooh, Van Roten. Hard to juke out a Leon Edmond, though. Sampson is the closest we've come to replacing Lamar Sperling. Skill set wise, a lot of similarities for sure. And his hands are really good. Like, we could play him as a slot receiver. So yeah, I mean, last year was all about the DeMarco Lacombo emergence. But now you throw an evolved Jimmy Sampson and Keenan Cleveland into the mix. This is an awesome running back situation for our team. It's fun having these role players on the team. You know, Sampson's such a good receiving back. But then, like, we have guys whose skill sets aren't complete, but used in the right ways, they can be an important piece of the puzzle. Like Sean Blade and Ray Dove, I think will be like slot receiver 1 and 2. So if we ever go to like a 4-wide package, we can have 2 guys out there that can just run ridiculous routes. And then we can just stick McNabb on the outside and somebody else who can stretch the field. Like, I'd actually like to consider a little more 4-wide, even though it doesn't fit our running game at all. We have such a unique advantage, I think, there. At least 3 perfect pieces for it, with 2 slot receivers and a downfield field stretcher. I haven't seen Jimmy struggle to catch one yet. Triple option pistol. Yeah, like I've been doing the packages here at times with Eric Pacheco. I did some packages with Kevin Babineau. And I think that even if I go with Jeffrey, could we see a package that involves trailer and maybe a multiple back set? I could probably get down with that. So I'll probably do another playbook revision before we get into the new season. Let's try a trailer out. Kenyon trailer. So as a refresher, 5 higher speed, same acceleration, higher break tackle, 71 trucking as a quarterback. Stiff arm is 74, significantly better. 5 better spin, 3 better juke, 6 or 7 better carrying. Plus trailer could also catch the ball. He's such a well-rounded athlete. He can even return kicks. So one more throw here for Jeffrey. What's our lasting impression going to be? Give me some time here. It's only a 3-man rush. Ben Van Roten. And trailer now. He's taking that number 7. That might be temporary. I'm not sure if he'll stick with that. Man, Larry Wheeler is a tough guy to outrun. Oh, how about that right there? Just put Hester in a pickle. That was nasty. Yeah, Larry Wheeler is not playing around right now. Yeah, Van Roten is pretty tall. I think he's 6'5". I'll switch up our plays here too in a second. Nice Dugans. Kenyon trailer. Let's go. Yeah, we have some good plays out of bunch. Like deep ball. Man, that was good coverage. That was Titus. That was Titus. That's a good look at him defending a really tough receiver and ball there. Yeah, his caps are better. Some of the ratings, you know, all the running ratings are better. Ooh, that's a good one for Ben Van Roten. I feel so much better about our receiver situation this year. Ooh, I was hoping you could get something on that. Some separation there. Ooh. At 6'5", you can catch some of those balls out in front of you. A little bit easier. Oh, that's his first drop. Any mobile games? I mean, I don't play a lot of mobile games in general. I play some games that like have mobile versions, like Slay the Spire and Balatro. But otherwise, I don't really play games on my phone outside of maybe like Immaculate Grid, which isn't really a traditional game. Does Van Roten have any trucking ability? Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Receivers don't often come with a lot of that. Now we could try out Nelly Jarrell. Oh boy. Let's get Nelly Jarrell out there. I'm going to put Cleveland back in too. I want to see some of the speed there. And at receiver, McNabb, Van Roten, Dove. I threw that too early. Ooh, and I still nailed it right there. Do I watch basketball? Not a lot. I mean, I like basketball, but I don't end up watching much of it until the playoffs. You know, I watch a lot of football. I watch a lot of baseball. But then basketball doesn't always make the cut because after football season, I like want to do some other non-sports related stuff for a little bit. I like basketball a lot. But you can hardly tell because I don't make any basketball content. Thank you, Lucas. Glad you could stop by for a while. Have a good one. I did this stream early enough in the day, too, where you guys still have like a whole Sunday ahead of you. Any other Sunday plans? Ooh. Not much of a hockey guy, but I've also never really given it much of a chance. Which is surprising, being that I was born in Minnesota. I don't really have an MLS team, no. I'm not sure at this point. Like, if I get into it, do I just become a fan of another Minnesota team? I moved away. Now my home team would be Austin's. Nelly Jarrell just fumbled it. Sunday dinner, jambalaya and fried chicken. Ooh, that sounds good. I'll be having, I ordered a rack of ribs last night. It was the biggest rack of ribs I've ever gotten in my life. I can't believe, like, it was almost spilling off the edges of the plate. So I have at least half a rack still to get through. That's going to be my dinner tonight. Yikes. There's American ice football in Germany. I saw the ice football clip of them running at like 3 miles an hour on the ice playing football. I'd expect something like that to be on ESPN The Ocho. I don't have Cleveland out there. Hot dogs or hamburgers while you watch a game of football? If I had to choose, I'd rather have a burger. When burgers are an option, there isn't a lot that I would want more. Yeah, I think the pass rush should be better. Like, hopefully we're not relying on one guy to do all the heavy lifting there. I would hope that we are much more well-rounded this season. Hot dogs for baseball, burgers for football. Facts. Definitely. I had a Costco hot dog the other day. That was a really good decision. Oh, he uncranked. Oh, my. That ball flew. Get up there, McNabb. Oh, he did! His deep ball's not supposed to be that nice. Have you ever had In-N-Out or Whataburger? Yeah, I've had both. And despite, I'm here in Texas, but I got to say, the In-N-Out burger, man, it is a lot better. I love In-N-Out. Burger King or McDonald's fries? Easily McDonald's fries. The Burger King oil might have to... It's got to go. I never had In-N-Out before. If you ever have the chance, I know it's not all over the country. Oh! You got to give it a try. And it's super affordable, too. With the simplest menu known to man. God. I've heard about Cookout. I really hope that next time I'm down there somewhere that I can get a chance to try that out, because Cookout sounds awesome. Taco Bell or Del Taco? I've never had Del Taco. Like, they're everywhere I've been, they're extremely uncommon, and I've never had a Qdoba for like the same reason. Like, there just ain't one for me to try. You want to know? Okay, this is going to sound insane, and I know it is. But one of the places I miss the most from the Midwest, not because it's great, but because I don't really have an equivalent here, is Taco John's. You know, it's a fast food taco place for when you don't want Taco Bell. You don't need it to be traditional. You just want a quick taco that isn't like deep fried like the ones at Jack in the Box. Just like a simple taco that's solid for cheap. And I actually miss Taco John's, for those of you familiar who know ball. I appreciate, Mike, you backing me up there. I didn't see any Taco John's south of Kansas City. I think it ends there. As a Wisconsinite, Taco John's is goated. It hits the spot. And you can get the potato olays, those little hash browns. They don't do French fries. They do the saltiest, heavily seasoned tater tot-like potato rounds you ever had. But they're good. Culver's is up there for fast food burgers, absolutely. And I've been seeing Culver's now. It feels way more like Culver's is more of a nationwide chain now. It's not as regional as it once was. They spread out big time. No Culver's here in California. That's a shame. Put Grim in. Let's give Grim some slot work. Do Taco John's and Papa John's have the same owner? I don't think there's any relation. But I guess I've never ever looked into it. I've only had Papa John's like twice. But my wife loves it because they give you a pepperoncini on the pizza. And she loves the Papa John's pepperoncini. Apparently you can buy them a la carte, but they're like $1 a piece for a little pepper. Which... That's outrageous. Trailer is the guy, right? I mean, he's looking really good, and he has not been missing throws. And the deep ball? We got some guys that can cover deep. That was Titus again. Normally, I never get a chance to shout out the safety in these practices, but I think he's shown enough. He's throwing an accurate ball. Opinions, a Little Caesars. I think it's... I have a higher opinion of it now than I did when I first tried it. I mean, sometimes it is the experience I'm looking for. I do like the half pizza, half cheese sticks option. That those little muffin things have no business being as good as they are. And they're pretty affordable too. They're really cheap. So I forget what they're called. They're pizza puffs. Oh, Ray Dove. He's like that. Oh, man. He really lays the ball out. Yeah, every stream eventually devolves into fast food theory. Crazy Puffs. Yeah, I vouch for the Crazy Puffs. Big time. Get out there. Just guys being dudes, you know. We could all sit here for hours talking about the same fast food places over and over again and remembering old football players' names. That's why I like playing Immaculate Grid, because it's like, when else is this, you know, knowledge of random players from the mid-2000s ever going to come in handy? You know, like today, I think the NFL one, they have Vikings and Patriots on the grid. How many of you remember Bethel Johnson, who played in the league for like 3 years, and he was basically like a designated kick returner? It's little stuff like that. Get him there. Man. You remember Dolphin? You remember Bethel Johnson? He played for the Patriots and the Vikings. He can't have many career catches. He was just a speedy guy that returned kicks. Jacoby Ford. Yeah, I remember Jacoby Ford well. And Johnny Lee Higgins was another, you know, speed-oriented Raiders receiver that didn't stick around a long time. Bethel Johnson is my favorite Madden receiver of all time. Like, the older you go on the Maddens, the more you can just look at a guy's speed and just let it fly. Bethel Johnson must have had like 97, 98 speed back in Madden 05 or something. Yeah, you could definitely do well with the Raiders in that era. You want to make Darius Hayward-Bay an all-pro with Jamarcus Russell? Those two had to have overlapped, right? Because Russell was 07, DHB. Darius Hayward-Bay was drafted, or was Russell 09? I forget now. Now I have to know. Jamarcus Russell was drafted 2007, like I originally said. DHB Had to have been like a year later. 2 years later, 09. Did Russell stick around long enough to play with Darius Hayward-Bay? He did. He went 2-7 that year, throwing 3 picks and 3 touchdowns and 11 picks. Darius Hayward-Bay went to the Colts. I don't remember him doing anything beyond the Raiders thing. Cadillac Williams. I actually like vividly remember Cadillac Williams' first career game because it was against the Vikings. That was a Grigson move. Yeah, it's good to know that Ryan Grigson currently has at least some degree of pull in the Vikings front office. I think back to some of those Colts teams and moves, and it's like, how do we have this? Yeah, silenced. If you do want to see the sliders, you don't want to wait. If you scrub back to like the beginning, there is a time where I showed them off in the early part of the stream, but I can show them one more time at the tail end. Martavis Bryant was goated for a year. Yeah. How come he and Chase Claypool had like these really short but really fun peaks with the Steelers? Ryan Grigson was such a horrible GM. He makes Chris Greer look like a prime Ron Wolf. Now, Ron Wolf was the architect of 90s Packers teams that took the franchise out of their 2-decade-long irrelevancy, basically. You never hear about the Packers in the 70s and 80s. They don't talk about that. They go straight from Bart Starr to Brett Favre. How about a guy like Darren McFadden? I can't think of a player who was more like... Think about like ability in real life, ability in a video game. That's Darren McFadden. The height, weight, speed, you know. He had a great combination. He was a good player too, so his ratings were also fine, but he was like 6'2", 220 with wheels and catching ability. Now we're getting out of there. How far can we go? I think of, there are some other, like, receivers in past Maddens that you could do a lot of the height, weight, speed stuff with. You know, like Denario Alexander on those old Rams teams. About Tyquan Underwood. Felix Jones was super fast in those Maddens. Like those PS3 Maddens, man, speed was all you needed. Roger Grimm sighting. I want new plays. Yeah, that's a good one. Peyton Hillis. And that's the reason they don't let us vote for the cover athlete anymore. But, you know, he was on the cover of one of my favorite Maddens. So there's always that. Any scheme changes coming? So earlier we talked a little bit about how I think we have a receiver set up to where I'd like to experiment with at least a formation or two of 4 wide. Because we have 2 really good slots, and I think a lot of ways to stress defenses there from a 4 receiver set. I also just want to look at anything that can help with running quarterback, whether we have Trailer here as the starter or a package player. But, man, right now it feels like he is the best quarterback on this team. Like, I've thrown a lot of passes with him, and he's basically missed nothing until that one. Amazing timing. Hakeem's still one of the fastest dudes I ever seen. Yeah, Oz Zahir Hakeem was an awesome, like, one of my favorite wide receiver threes. It was only Torrey Holt and Isaac Bruce opening up space for him. Traylor's caps ended up being much better than Karifi Jeffries. So it's kind of a debate here. Jeffrey is a little bit better on day one with some things, but Traylor has uncapped accuracy plus superior mobility. And I've liked his deep ball here in practice a ton. Oh. Shout out to Sidney Rice, too. Yeah, he and Favre have had a pretty incredible connection there. Unfortunately, injuries really affected his career. So it was like 2009 and 2010 was really the Sidney Rice time. I'm going to put Jeffrey back in there just to get, you know, a little more juxtaposition. Bang. Pierre Garçon be one of my favorite Colt ever. I like Garçon. He was really good for a really long time. Ooh, that was nasty right there by Jeffrey. Let's see a deep ball. We have to test his deep ball out after seeing some good ones out of Traylor. I think Jeffrey's arm could be a tiny bit stronger. Wheel with Cleveland going to be free all season. There are going to be a lot of wheel routes, I think, this year. We're getting annihilated here with our line. When do you believe they're going to make PS6? I would think like 2027. We could see it drop holiday season. I feel it's like so early to be talking about a new console, but like traditionally they have been on more like a 7 to 8 year cycle, and hard to believe we're already like 4.5-ish years into it. Have I seen the new Xbox with Steam on it? No, I haven't really, but I imagine like the next piece of Xbox hardware is going to be even more like a PC. It's interesting because Xbox is really deep in the like PC-centric ecosystem now, but also the cloud gaming, which requires totally like opposite ends of the hardware spectrum. Like, if you guys have never really experimented much with playing on the cloud, if you have a good internet connection, you'll probably be surprised at how good it is. So, I have a Steam Deck, and I will stream both my PS5 and my Xbox Series X to it. And the Series X performance on there, it is really, really good. The PlayStation 1, I think, is good too, but occasionally I'll get, you know, some like lag spikes because you're constantly streaming these games and everything. And the Xbox experience has been smoother to me. And so I know they're going to continue to go with this, like, anything is an Xbox kind of mindset. But as far as, like, hardware goes, the cloud gaming stuff is simple. Like, there are really good, like, $200 handhelds out there because all you really need is the ability to receive that signal and then output it on a good screen. Because the cloud system isn't doing any of the processing, like, it doesn't have to have a ridiculous graphics card or anything in there or a high-powered CPU. So I don't know if Xbox cares to make, like, a dedicated Xbox handheld when there are good third-party options out there. But I do think their next piece of hardware is... I could definitely see it having, like, Steam. It's just, what's the operating system, I wonder? Because they're not going to run Steam OS like the Steam Deck. Maybe it's just going to be Windows 11. That is a cannon. And here goes Cleveland in the open field, right around you. The Xbox OS is currently running a modified version of the Windows OS. I don't know what it takes to make that compatible with Steam, and if there would be any sort of like games that would conflict with that, or if you could run any other launchers. Like, I know if you play a lot of big games, you're gonna have to have Steam, but then like Ubisoft might not sell their game on Steam, so you have to have Ubisoft Connect or EA's app. So I don't know if they could go for like an all-in-one there, plus play Xbox games on a disc. I don't know. That's a good ball right there. Cleveland fast. That's my analysis. That's a touchdown. Oh, okay. That was not a touchdown after all. Larry Pan. I have a slim PS2 for the old school JRPGs. That's awesome. I love the slim. It's just such a sleek little device, and it's amazing. Like, the PS2 was kind of a fat DVD player size thing. DVD players were pretty big at the time, but what they turned the slim into, like a book. It looks like a game case. I just love the design of that system. What are your favorite JRPGs there on the PS2? Bang. Ooh, Roger Grimm. Got a ROG Ally X, and it basically does that. It runs Windows, but it has onboard software called Armory Crate, a launcher bundle for Steam, EA, Origin, Xbox, and so on. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that one. I did look into it briefly when I wanted to get a handheld, but I went with the deck. That one's pretty cool. Definitely more powerful. I'm still kind of liking Trailer potentially as our starter for this year. But yeah, Jeffrey now in this these last handful of throws has definitely felt really good too. Yeah, Calcaterra still at tight end. We'll see what the plan ends up being with him overall. Maximum football videos? You know, we'll see. I don't know what the current situation with that game is in terms of its release schedule and everything. I've seen some, like, a lot of improvements out of the gameplay, though. That's definitely taken a generational leap forward, I think. Oh my. Here we go. Nelly Jarrell down there. I think we're about wrapping up the stream here, guys. Another off season in the books. I can't believe we're on to year 8. We'll get the new season underway soon with our first game against Bowling Green. We have a really good ACC schedule this year. We created some divisions earlier that I think will be a hit. I like that move. You guys definitely steered me in that direction, and I think we have not only a good schedule, but a good way to set up the conference championship game. And now it's a 9-game conference schedule. Oh, yeah, I can't save after this because I simulated past a week of recruiting. That's right. Good call. Really good call. Do I have any triple option plays? I have a couple, but like the laterals in this game aren't nearly as reliable as I'd like them to be. Sometimes you just pitch it into the abyss, and I don't want to risk fumbles, so I tend to not call triple option. All right. That's our team going into Season 8, everybody. Thank you for sticking around for a big off-season stream today. If you wouldn't mind leaving a like, I'd appreciate it. And if you happen to be new around here, subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything you want to catch up on in the series, I always have a link in the description. The full playlist, now with 100 episodes of this series. So much content to get through if you have not, watched everything and you want to know what happened in the early days or leading up to this point. But that is going to do it for today, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'm excited to see what Season 8 brings to the Bulls. Take care, everybody.